Welcome, VOLS fans, back to the Very Orange live stream and other fans. We got a slate of games tonight. But first, I think I smell something. Smells like revenge and cooked bacon. All right, as I stated before, it's week 7 on the Very Orange live stream. Coming back at you after a bye week. And we've also got some visitors here a visitor. With me as always, this guy.
If you're going to let me in, yeah, I'm here.
Well, you have to be invited in like a vampire.
Yeah, but once you do, you can't get rid of me. So,
also with us this evening, that's sad but true. With us this evening is also world-renowned poet, author, Jeopardy contestant, Dargan Ware.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Evening, sir. Good to see you. It's been a while.
It has.
That's been a while.
But it's good to see y'all.
If you'd like to join our stream, I've got the link below. And let's get to it, fellas. We're going to hit the rewind. So what is going on in Arkansas, Mr. Ware?
Man, I really don't know.
Coup d'etat.
What'd you say, Chris?
Coup d'etat.
Coup d'etat? Yeah, essentially, yes. I mean, I think that when Bobby was brought in, there were already a lot of people who thought that he should take over for Sam. And, you know,
I don't have my neck brace.
Yeah.
Wrap around my neck.
Those people eventually did pull it off. I mean, but I'm still not sure they're going to be able to keep him as coach. Because I think there are a lot of other fans in Arkansas who just really don't want that to happen.
There's a lot of risk there.
Bizarro world. For you younger kids that might see this, maybe you call it the upside down, like Stranger Things.
I mean, there's a lot of risk involved in keeping Petrino, especially when you've got a bright, shiny new minted coach named Alex Golesh sitting down in Tampa who would be perfect for your program.
Yeah, I mean,
we're not going to mention that, Dren, because that's bad luck.
Well, I know, but still, yeah.
The person who is getting the most mention on, Razorback. Well, okay. So Razorback Twitter is divided in two, right? They're like any school, we have our just completely delusional people who think, Nick Saban's going to come out of retirement. Bob Stoops is going to come out of retirement. Whoever, all pro coaches are going to quit, come to Arkansas, Mike McDaniel, I heard the other day. This is not going to happen.
I really want to meet the fan that believes Nick Saban is coming to Arkansas.
Shit, y'all got a better chance of hiring Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, at this point, why not? Barry Switzer's available.
Mhm.
Just shoot him some extra hairspray. He'll be right there.
Exactly.
But among the people that are, a little more sane, there are of course the Bobby people, and then there are the person who I see mentioned next after that is John Sumrall from Tulane, and I think John Sumrall is an excellent coach. Right, I have said before
that is intriguing. That is intriguing right there.
Right, he was at Troy for several years before Tulane. I went down to a couple of games down there. He built a solid team that was competitive with everybody they played against. He's a very good defensive guy. He played linebacker at Kentucky, if I recall. And I'm watching this Tulane game tonight. Right, their defense is great. Their offense is not very good in the red zone, especially. But their defense is pretty good. And so I like Sumrall. I don't think he'll come here, in part because I think the Kentucky job is going to be available.
There's that.
Yeah. So I like Sumrall, but I don't think he's come. And then we get to the man y'all mentioned in Tampa, Alex Golesh. I think he's next on the list for a lot of people.
Please don't let him be in the SEC.
When we drop all the all the ridiculous folks, I think he is high on our list. I don't know if he'll come to Arkansas either. I don't know what opportunities he'll have elsewhere.
Let me ask you this, because it came to mind. We've been talking about Kurt Cignetti and how he has, kind of aged out of any new coaching job. Sam Pittman's not exactly a youthful young spring chicken out there.
No.
Are you burnt out by old coaches? And if they came knocking at Indiana's door, would you take him?
I would absolutely make a run at Cignetti. I don't consider him particularly plausible. I think he has quite possibly.
I think he's stuck where he's at.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I mean, because I think he's got 10 years of goodwill in a year and a half in Bloomington, and he can do whatever he wants up there. Now if he leaves, I think it will be to a team that I think it will be because he's decided he can't win a national championship in Indiana. He still thinks he can, and he goes to and somebody gives him a chance at a school that he thinks he can. I don't know that that's going to happen, but I think that's the most likely.
This week is Indiana's week to do some damage, right?
Right.
We'll get into that in a little while.
So my second rooting interest after Arkansas is always that a team that's never won it before wins it, right? And so whoever wins this Oregon-Indiana game is definitively in the driver's seat among teams that have never won it before, for a chance at the national championship.
That's true.
I mean, we'll see what happens there. I mean, and I don't know if you've ever heard me say it, Dargan, but I've said on the show many, many times, if Kurt Cignetti was 10 years younger, he'd already be the head coach in Alabama. Well, a lot of people don't know that he's a Saban guy.
Yeah.
Because he was one of the architects. Yeah. Well, he was one of those early architects that did a lot of good recruiting for Saban at Alabama in the early years before he went to James Madison. Yeah. So, I mean, there's no doubt the guy can coach.
Yep.
I think there's just going to be a bias against him because of his age, going anywhere else than where he is.
And there is, and
but if you're comparing him to Bobby Petrino, you don't really worry about that.
Yeah. I was about to say, how old is Bobby Petrino?
Oh gosh,
He's up there.
Bobby's probably 70. No, he's not that old, but he's like 60 something.
I mean, I'd take George O'Leary and his fake resume for those of you who remember that before I take Bobby Petrino back.
Bobby Petrino's 64.
Yeah.
So not quite as old as I thought, but still.
He's the Beatles age.
Yes.
The Beatles age. All right, let's kind of kick this can down the road, and we'll talk about last week's scores and upsets and so on and so forth, and where teams are now that maybe started this season as favorites to be in the playoffs. First of all, I don't even like saying this. Can Miami be stopped?
I don't know that Miami has really played anybody, but at the same time, until they get to the playoffs, I don't know if they will.
I don't trust Mario Cristobal not to screw up somewhere. And if things shake out the way I think they will, like the way they're going to, he's going to end up playing Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
And he has not had the best luck against Georgia Tech.
That's true.
And he is definitively a worse coach than Brent Key.
Yeah, and Brent Key, if Brent Key's going to do any damage with the roster that he has right now, he has the old man collective down there in Atlanta. He's got a ton of 5th and 6th year guys down there, and I think they had their one hiccup against Wake. And
part of me roots for that quarterback too. I kind of like him.
Hank King's tough son of a bitch. He really is. He really is.
He reminds me a little bit of Clint Starter.
Yeah, a little bit. Hopefully he didn't have the fumbles that Clint had, but
I was going to say, does he also put the football on the ground?
Not the best quarterback, but one of the best pass throwing linebackers you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
Miami is very good, but I do not trust either Cristobal or Carson Beck. And I think eventually they're going to screw something up. But
these are good points.
But what happens when they screw something up is maybe, they drop a seed or two and they blow a game to Louisville or whatever. And then they win the championship anyway in the ACC, and they're the 3 or the 4 seed. So it's not going to make any difference if they screw something up.
That's kind of the way I see it. That if they get to the playoffs and have to start facing legitimate teams with better coaches, it's not going to be such an easy road like the ACC teams have.
Right.
So they are off this week, but they've got Miami coming. They've got Miami at Hard Rock, which I think probably favors them. They've got Stanford, which is
$50 million football grant to Stanford this week.
Yeah, true. The only thing, the only maybe scary game they have left is, they've got to go to Dallas to play SMU.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something. Rhett Lashley wins that one.
Maybe he comes to Arkansas.
Whoa.
Well, y'all, and the only thing I would say to that is y'all have been burned once by an SMU coach.
We have, but unlike Chad Morris, Rhett Lashley is the person in the Gus Malzahn tree that we would consider, and you are always going to have some Arkansas people glom onto that Gus Malzahn connection, and the fact that he played high school ball at Shiloh Christian for Gus. So, Rhett Lashley might have been the most accurate quarterback I have ever seen, by the way, in high school, because if he wasn't 5'7", it's one thing if you're 5'7", you can run like Kyler Murray, but if you're 5'7" and you're Rhett Lashley, you're not going to get any big scholarships. But he was good.
Better in high school than Mitch Mustaine?
Yes. Okay. Mustaine looked like a pro quarterback, and Rhett didn't. But, he was better. Rhett was better.
Kind of a disheartening win, unless you're Shelby. Texas A&M took care of Mississippi State last week.
That surprised me that it was that kind of beatdown.
Me too.
Well, I also think it's probably a little bit of a hangover from, losing at home the way they did to us, because they put everything out there, put everything
you've got into
and you come up short, and you basically give zero resistance in overtime.
They're also at a stage of development where they're just a different team at home. As teams kind of improve and get better, they get good at home first.
Yeah.
And then they get to where they can take it on the road. It's not at the point where they can take it on the road.
It's a lot like us, when Heupel first got here.
Yeah,
they don't have the depth.
Right.
And it showed.
Right.
And it showed. Yeah. I mean, when Tyree West got that strip sack in the fourth quarter, and I thought he ate too. I thought that kid was done. But to his credit, they just didn't have any. And the reason why that sack happened was because their starting blindside tackle got hurt in the first half and wouldn't play the second half of the game. And so we finally got a bull rush on him on the backup, and that's what happened.
And I must say this, gentlemen, Bama doesn't often make me happy. But last week in Diego, sweet baby Pavia, running that mouth and then losing 30-14.
And looking bad in the process.
Yeah. He looked like shite.
And by the way, Bama ran it up a little bit.
Yeah,
they did. They did. They did not need to score that last touchdown.
That also gave them the spread. They didn't have the spread until that last touchdown.
Okay, well,
so there are people that are find that a little suspicious, but who knows?
I don't know. I don't know that I wouldn't have done the same thing as far as like
right. I don't
make it hurt. Make it hurt.
Kick a little dirt.
So Pavia is such a personality, right? And he's had games that he really did carry them, but they just forgot that Cedric Alexander was there after halfway through the second quarter, and it's like, what are you doing, right? I mean, you may think your best player is Diego Pavia because he says he is.
Yeah,
your best player is not Diego Pavia. Not nearly.
Don't buy into the hype.
Right. And they just forgot Cedric was there.
And they kept trying to throw the ball at Eli Stowers. Eli Stowers is not a bad tight end, but
for whatever reason he had a bad day.
Yeah, Diego kept throwing over his head.
2.0.
Yeah. But
I loved it just a little bit. Just a little bit. I loved it.
November 29th.
Yep.
Oh, it's going to be good. I think we can beat Bama.
Maybe I'll
this
come
year.
up for that one. We still got to get Neyland to get. Christy and I are trying to get all the stadiums together. We haven't been to Neyland.
Well, you come to North Carolina. We can probably make it happen.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. I'm not that far away.
We might know a few places, a few people,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing. Finally, the mighty Bruins got a victory.
Giving hope to interim coaches everywhere.
Just showing Penn State to be the frauds that they are.
I don't even remember that UCLA interim coach's name, but he now has the same number of wins against top 10 Big Ten teams as James Franklin does.
Mm-hmm. Well, the offensive coordinator is more famous than the interim head coach because it's Rick Newhouse's kid,
right?
Yeah.
And what a lot of people were saying was that Nico obviously had done a lot of film study for this one because he whatever Newhouse would make a call, and Nico would come up the line and take a look at Penn State's defense and just walk up, look around, and go and just kill, and audible to something else, and was still getting 7-8 yards a clip.
Right.
I still think it's laughable that Nico needed more weapons when Chris Brazzell still has more yards alone than the entire UCLA wide receiver room.
Right.
Yeah.
So just need more weapons. Either Scooter.
How do you Americans say complete and utter horse shit?
Exactly.
You need more weapons. So that was sweet, even though I do not like UCLA or obviously.
Yeah, you guys had a lot of teams that you were having a tough time rooting for, presumably, because Florida versus Texas was also probably on that list.
Well, and that's what I'm getting to. Number one with a bullet, baby. The mighty Gators. There was no shot in Florida. I'm going to put it up there, but
for now,
they took it to Texas, which Texas really does quickly become like the most hated team in the SEC.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, they've always been the most hated team for Arkansas fans.
Texas Extension Crisis.
I had a high school history teacher. He was our defensive line coach too, and just good old boy from Eastern Arkansas. And he taught history, and conservatives all get out. And he said, if the University of Texas is playing the Soviet national team, I'll be in the stands banging that hammer and sickle together. And that's how Arkansas fans feel about Texas.
I had a waiter who was an Auburn fan one time because it's like, let me tell you how much I hate Alabama. I'll cheer for Al Qaeda before I cheer for Alabama. That's a man who hates Alabama. Yeah, so I could certainly, especially in the early 80s time frame.
Yes, in the
mid 80s.
Yeah, we were in that
Red Dawn.
Yep.
Al Qaeda.
Arkansas, Texas used to be such a big deal. One of my favorite
the old Southwestern Conference.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite random bits of trivia is that in his long career with the Lakers, he has a consecutive game streak. Chick Hearn missed one game, right? He was calling the Arkansas-Texas game in '69 for the president because Dixon asked him to.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, you asked me off air.
Yeah,
about the most famous football player ever to come out of Whittier College. You just said his name, be Richard Nixon. Take me a minute to think about it.
That was not the answer that I had.
Oh, it was not.
Although
Nixon did play football at Whittier.
The most famous person who played football at Whittier. I will give you that. He is not the most football famous person.
Okay.
From Whittier. This is primarily a coach. He did play, but he is known as a coach.
It's not Madden.
And I will tell you that Whittier College for quite a while had their levels passing records, like all of them. Season, passing in a game, completions, touchdowns. They had them all for a solid 40 years.
Well, passing makes me think it's somebody like Don Coryell, but
Yes, it is Don
it
Coryell.
is Don Coryell. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
He was at least the coach at Whittier before he went to I can't remember where he played, but
good job, Dren. You avoided too much dead air.
Mm-hmm.
So moving forward here, away from college football, just a few little nuggets. You spoke about Neyland and wanting to come to Neyland, you and the missus.
mm-hmm.
Guess who's going to be there? It was just announced this evening. Your favorite
All right,
fruit.
I'll take a random guess of the thankfully recovered Dolly Parton.
Oh, no, but I am glad. Love Dolly.
Yes.
The Savannah Bananas are going to be there on May 23rd.
Ooh.
Nice.
Baseball at Neyland.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see how they configure the seating for that.
If fellas can ever find tickets, I got to get in on that lottery thing, however it works. But yeah, that was just announced, which I'm sure that'll break.
Yeah, I wonder how many of the seats will be available for that.
Yep.
Because I don't think they'll have people in the upper decks for the Savannah Bananas.
I don't know.
Yeah, that will be interesting to see. That may be one of the bigger crowds they play in front of.
Yeah. It probably will be.
Sticking with baseball, we're all Braves fans here, correct?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm a Royals fan.
Well, he's Arkansas. Royals are pretty Missouri teams, either Royals or Cardinals.
So yes, in 1985, we had just moved out to Arkansas, and I had to make a choice. And because most of the kids at school were Cardinals fans, I picked the Royals for the World Series that year.
Especially
good choice in 1985. It was a bad choice, lifelong.
Well,
but
George Brett and his pop.
Oh no! I bet Dargan's favorite player was Buddy Biancalana.
No, my favorite baseball
or Dane
Orge. No, my favorite baseball player of all time is Dan Quisenberry.
I love George Brett.
Who was your favorite?
My favorite baseball player of all time is Dan Quisenberry.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of poets, yes. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
But even before I knew that, he was my favorite player. Because he just had such a unique. He said one time, "I found a delivery in my flaw."
Anyway, and I'm sure this is, something goes on with the Braves. It's news around the nation. Brian Snedeker, who coached them to the World Series in 21, he's going to be stepping down as manager. He'll still be with the organization, but he will have some. I don't want to call it a minor role, a less.
He'll be an advisor, or he'll do scouting or whatever, things like that.
So who do you think they're going to get? I know what I've heard.
Mark DeRosa seems to be a pretty popular choice. David Ross, maybe.
David Ross is what I've heard,
Okay.
and from a bunch of people.
They better stay the fuck away from Tony V. Otherwise,
Now that's.
Hey, in my experience, there aren't a lot of college baseball coaches that have jumped straight to being managers at the major league level. So I'm not saying Tony couldn't do it, but I don't think that's a likely.
His name just always comes up whenever there's a coaching vacancy.
Yeah.
And honestly, given his cost of living now, he's making more money. In the end, he's probably making more money.
He probably is.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's not cheap to live in Knoxville, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper to live in Knoxville than it is in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides, he's coming to
take Knoxville any day over the Atlanta traffic and all that.
You said he's coming to Fayetteville?
Y'all do know he's coming to Fayetteville when DVH retires, right?
The dream.
Yeah.
Which, if actually, Juracek may have bought himself a year by finally firing Sam, but there are a lot of people that want to get rid of Juracek and make Dave Van Horn the athletic director.
Well, I mean, guy's got a track record, so.
I've heard that they're so interlinked there that you might as well get rid of the athletic director if you're going to get rid of Sam Pittman.
I mean,
that's just my understanding, though.
Well, okay, so let's talk about Sam for a minute. All right, so Hunter went out on a limb and got a guy who nobody thought was ever going to be a head coach, right? And at the time we hired him, we had been the worst team in a major conference for at least 2 years, right? Definitively. Nobody was close to being as bad as we were. North Texas beat us 44-0. Western Kentucky hugged like 60 on us with our former quarterback, right? We were bad. We weren't just like bad for the SEC. We were like one of the worst football teams in the country.
You guys are Prairie View in the 90s bad.
Yes. And then Sam comes in and we're average, right? That's a big jump, And we just never had that breakthrough where we were really good.
Yeah, that was just his ceiling, though. Average was his ceiling.
Yeah. And I'm not saying it was time for him to go. Right? He was done.
I think it was beyond time for him to go.
I mean, sure.
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3 years.
But he still did a great job for us overall.
Yeah.
Right? Because we've had all of one coach this century that even, consistently made us relevant. Right?
And y'all managed to run him off.
Well, he was partially responsible for that.
That's true.
I'm
not talking about Petrino. I'm talking about Houston.
No. Houston was this much better than Sam.
Okay.
We had one decent year really, and Houston was great that year because we had like 7 NFL starters. Right? Between offense and defense, we had the best team that Arkansas has ever seen. And we couldn't win the West. So I don't think Houston was a great coach. I just don't.
And y'all had to lose to Jackie Sherrill that next game.
You know what happened, right? Have I ever told you that?
I don't remember. I just know y'all lost.
Okay, so if you remember that game at all, we missed 3 field goals. One of them was like a 20-yard chip shot at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the reason we missed 3 field goals is that our starting field goal kicker got arrested for DUI after he got home from Knoxville. So, if Sterner hangs on to the ball at Neyland and we beat you guys,
Brandon doesn't trip him.
We definitively beat Mississippi State because we get home and all of them are partying together and they're in the cop in Fayetteville and don't arrest any of them. Right?
Yep.
Instead, Todd Latterette was his name, gets home and gets drunk and gets arrested. And we basically didn't have a field goal kicker at Mississippi State, and we missed 3, and we lost by 2 points. So if we hang on to the ball at Neyland, we almost certainly beat Mississippi State, and then we're playing you guys again to see who goes to the national championship game. So we were very close to,
Well, there are so many things that
Long Island stays away.
There were so many things that happened that year. I mean, towards the end, I mean, we wanted UCLA. Mm-hmm. We would have beaten the dog shit out of UCLA. It would not have been close. And Edgerrin James has the game of his life in Miami. They had to reschedule the game from earlier in the season because they had a hurricane. That's why they moved it. They moved it to December.
Yep.
And Edgerrin ran for like 270 on them, was basically the entirety of Miami's offense.
I remember that.
And they outscored, and I think they won like 45-42 or something like that. And then A&M upsets K-State in the first ever Big 12 title game. And we didn't want to play. We didn't want none of Big K-State.
You didn't want that Michael Bishop.
Two years before that, they had beaten the dog shit out of us in bowl game.
Oh,
I did not want to play them boys.
I remember the K-State more than anything. Like, thank God we don't have to play.
Was that Chad May's team or was that Michael Bishop's team?
It's Bishop. It was Bishop. Here's the thing that was so messed up about not messed up, but ironic about it. A&M's starting quarterback was hurt. He didn't play, and A&M was led to victory by this kid named Brandon Stewart. Oh, yeah. Brandon Stewart was a transfer to A&M. You want to know where he transferred from?
Tennessee.
He and Peyton got the Knoxville at the same time.
Yeah.
And there was this big kerfluffle about whether or not, once Helton stepped aside, whether or not it should have been Peyton that was starting or Brandon that was starting.
Yeah.
And I mean, what happened is what happened.
Yeah.
I remember listening to the ball calls one night, and because they were struggling. Peyton lost 4 games his freshman year. Mm-hmm. So, Arch, even though Arch's not a freshman anymore, I mean, so it's growing pains for the Manning quarterbacks. But they asked we had lost to somebody, and they said, why is Brandon Stewart not getting a bigger opportunity to start? And Coach Fulmer goes, well, we think Peyton's probably got a better grasp of the playbook than Brandon does. And the guy calling in said, well, Coach, which of the 3 plays does Brandon not know yet? Click. Remember it like it was yesterday. And I'm like, and it's just dead air. And God love John Ward. He did not. He handled it well. He handled it well, and just moved it on.
That's pretty good.
All right. Speaking of it on, so into the NFL, we'll dip our toe in the water for a second here. Our Titans finally won a game, which was one of the craziest NFL games I have seen in a long time.
It helped out my teams as well.
Well, and here's the thing that was messed up about it is, like, on the fantasy side of things, that did not count as an offensive touchdown. It got counted as a defensive touchdown. It counted towards the defense. Lockett was not given an offensive touchdown for that because it was a pick, fumble, recovered in the end zone.
Recovery,
Yep. So that kind of I know some guys that got kind of upset about that.
I was watching it and I was like,
well, if you're
shit,
starting Lockett
Mhm.
and you're mad because the miracle touchdown didn't get counted, I think that's a little.
Well, if you're having to start Lockett as maybe your flex,
Yeah.
or your wide receiver 3, you're screwed anyway.
Does he get like a point a game?
And maybe if that, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm not even that serious about my fantasy football, and I know that.
Yeah. I messaged him when he got that recovery.
He's like, "Did you see that?"
And they showed Tyler Lockett. Well, but then I was like, "Damn, Tyler Lockett looks every second of his age.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like an old man out there with the missing hair and."
And then the Cardinals running back who just, how do you not hold on to the ball to the end zone, man? Seriously.
I don't know.
It didn't get knocked out. He dropped it.
Yeah, he just dropped it.
Yeah, he just dropped it. That was crazy.
That was like going to be his third touchdown of his career, too.
Wow.
Whoopsie.
That's a good way to get your ass cut.
Yeah.
Or end up on the scout team on Monday.
Yep.
Which that's what would have happened to Joey Sly had he not hit that game-winning kick.
Oh,
I mean, that dude inside 20 is an adventure.
I'll say
from long distance, the guy's accurate, but he can't hit a short range for shit.
That's funny.
I was nervous like a cat shitting razor blades.
He barely put it inside that. He barely got it inside that right upright.
Yep.
We're gonna have to rely on this guy.
Gentlemen, just by the way, just saw this. Not NFL related. John Batir has been upgraded to probable.
They said he was probably going to play.
How the hell he's going to hold on to a ball? I don't know. I mean, that's what is the thumb on his throwing hand that he hurt?
Yeah,
I think so.
I mean, you're not going to have much flex, and he's probably going to have to wear a brace. He's not going to have a whole lot of flexibility. I don't know how he's going to have any snap on the ball when he throws it.
He's going to play Saturday.
Yeah, they upgraded the pro. I just saw it on the ESPN ticker.
Damn.
I mean, but if you're Brent Venables, don't you say that whether you go play him or not?
That's a good point.
Possibly, but I mean, I think that's
maybe you run him out there occasionally for a wildcat type situation. That's about it.
Yeah, but why risk it?
Can you throw with your left hand on this play real quick?
Well, it was wasn't it Ryan Fitzgerald when he was playing for the Dolphins one time?
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Sorry. For the Dolphins one time, he had completely screwed up his his throwing shoulder, so he was handing the ball off with his left hand.
Yeah, I remember that.
He could sort of throw, but you could tell it was killing him.
That was
yeah.
Everybody remembers Leftwich being carried down the field, but the Fitzpatrick playing without a throwing arm was pretty crazy.
And I hate to bring this up, Dargan, but I was certainly surprised by it. And
say that again. Sorry.
You can speak to where you think the Chiefs are, but they played Jacksonville and lost on Sunday.
They did.
Speaking of wild endings,
yes, that was a crazy ending where Trevor Lawrence fell.
Are the Chiefs just ass cheeks, or are the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Jacksonville is better than you think and has a schedule that means they're almost certainly going to make the playoffs. Unless you guys all of a sudden, get good or something to beat them twice.
The Titans just bowed up and won the rest of their games.
Yeah, sure.
But if we go 5-11 this year, I'll be amazed.
So I think
We're
I
5 and
think
12.
Jacksonville is good, and I think the Chiefs are running on fumes. I think they have some really good players who don't have a lot left in the tank, especially Travis Kelce, and a couple of the offensive linemen. And I think
Not Trey, but yeah.
Well, yeah, no, but I think offensive line. Part of the problem is there seems to be like a big talent gap between them, right? We've got a couple that are really good and a couple that are not, and so because of that, it's not very consistent. Pacheco looked good in the Jacksonville game, which is a big deal because we just don't have anybody that can run the ball. Like Kareem Hunt is great. He's almost turning into Christian Okoye. You need a yard, he'll get you 3. You need 5 yards, he'll get you 3. But he's not. He's really good at short yardage, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And then
what happened to Clyde?
I don't know. He just never really panned out. He had that 1 year where he was decent.
Yeah.
And then, he just never panned out. He was great in college, I remember.
I mean, he seemed to be like the perfect third down back, the alternative to Kelce, if you had to have somebody else to get the ball to on the on third down. Yep. According to what I found, he's on the practice squad.
Wow.
So that's like
that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that he's there. They've kept him around, but at the same time, damn.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And not only is he
especially if he could be starting elsewhere.
Right, he's still on the Chiefs practice squad, which means that somebody could easily get him if they wanted.
Yeah, yeah.
And so there's nobody in the league that man, that seems rough.
I mean, he's not making main roster money, but practice squad guys don't exactly make make nothing either.
Yeah,
I think that they make low. So I think they make low 6 figures.
Yeah. Something like that.
And then Brandon Allen is becoming the next. Speaking of Arkansas guys, Brandon Allen is becoming the next Chase Daniel. One of my favorite stats of all time is that Chase Daniel made more millions of dollars than he threw regular season passes over his NFL career. And Brandon Allen's about there. Because he is not getting in any games. But
it's just like guys who
get it.
Yep.
It's like guys who had some of the cushiest backup jobs that ever existed. I mean, people forget that second Giants Super Bowl. Who was Eli's backup?
Kurt Warner.
Was it? Who was it?
The Battleship Lorenzen. The Battleship Lorenzen.
Oh yeah.
Jared Lorenzen was his backup. Jared Lorenzen had a Super Bowl ring. He was Eli's backup.
Yeah.
But of course he looked like an offensive lineman wearing a headset and holding a clipboard.
Yeah.
But that's like guys who had the cushiest jobs in the world. Like, Don Strock was Dan Marino's backup for years in Miami.
Oh yeah.
Or Frank Reich was Jim Kelly's backup in Buffalo. He just had the greatest.
Gary Kubiak.
And then he got a coaching gig.
Yep. Jeff Hostetler until he was actually needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I used to like him when he played for the Raiders.
No, Jason Garrett being a great example as well.
Yeah, he kind of got found out when he was forced to take a team on his own when he got outside. I think a lot of what helped Hostetler a lot was that when he left New York, he wasn't afraid of his head coach anymore.
Right.
Because that's the one thing. Yeah, I was listening to a video clip from Phil Simms the other day. He's like, I'd be walking over to the sideline, and I'd still be 15 yards away, and all I hear is "Shut the fuck up." and then, so I mean that's exactly what you were dealing with. I think that yeah, I think he just kind of got found out a little bit. I mean, it was kind of like the anti-Brady. Everybody thought, when Brady went to Tampa, he wasn't going to be as good without Belichick there to help him, and he proved everybody wrong. Not that Bruce Arians was not a bad coach. Bruce Arians is a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
Right. But
the quarterback.
But yeah, I mean,
yes.
You either thought that, he was not going to be as good with Belichick, or he was going to show his age like Peyton did when he went to Denver. And neither of those things happened.
I just got to Peyton. Everything that was going wrong with Peyton finally reared its ugly head when he got to Denver. The neck, the shoulder, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, he just started falling.
I was scared when he went to Denver. I was like, this dude's gonna die on the football field.
When he didn't have Jeff Saturday blocking for him anymore, that kind of became a problem.
Yep.
That stout defense won him a Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, and between those guys in the Legion of Boom in Seattle that were were the two best defenses that I've seen in a while. I mean, and then of course going further back to that 2000 Baltimore team was scary as hell, man.
Yeah.
They were. That was. There has not been a defense.
And their best player that lined up on offense was the punter.
Yeah.
Their punter was really good.
Well, they had Shannon Sharp.
Yeah. Okay.
So they had Shannon Sharp, but they had Jamal Lewis. So they could, as long as Dilfer didn't screw up, and either handed the ball or dumped it off to somebody.
Yep.
They were fine.
But in a lot of their games, the offensive MVP was their punter. Yeah. He was really good. I can't remember the guy's name.
Yeah.
Punt him deep and then say Goose, go eat somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's as good as Ray Lewis was. He's not. He would not. I don't think Ray Lewis would have been nearly as good as he was without Sam Adams and Tony Siragusa. That interior line, man. He never got touched.
So Kyle Richardson was the name of that punter, and he was really good. Like just insanely solid, and kept pinning people down in the.
Well, they had a good special teams unit altogether. So.
Right. Oh, it looks like ECU has taken.
We're about to do a little picking.
They have somebody. Well, they finally scored a touchdown.
No, they scored another touchdown.
Well, it's 13-12. Yeah, they're doing. I guess going 2-point attempt. Okay.
Yep.
I tell you, it's a better game to watch than Middle Tennessee, Missouri State last night. God. That was awful.
By the way, folks, welcome to heaven, also known as 49 straight days of being able to watch football on television.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, Wednesday night, you kind of get
some of those games.
You get some of the games like, I don't know if I want to show this.
I will take Tulane versus middle
Oh,
of
this has been an interesting game.
Louisiana
It has.
State
It
over
has. It's an interesting game. I mean, I'm not going to complain.
The
Liberty UTEP almost got really interesting there at the end because UTEP was about to ready to jump them some bitches. I mean,
Right.
it. Did you see the end of that game?
I did not.
It got
but I heard
it
about
got tense.
I
So,
read about it.
UTEP throws a pick on the last on the game stealing play,
Mhm.
and UTEP loses when they're starting lineman on a blind side.
Oh,
And that entire sideline was like coming out in mass.
yeah.
And they were coming, and their coach is like, for the love of God, get your asses back over there. Because they were ready to throw down. They were pissed.
Yeah.
I'll stand by this anytime, anywhere. Any football game is better than the Golden Bachelor.
Sure.
Truth. Well, I mean, if you're into watching that kind of thing, sure.
I'm not gonna watch the Golden Bachelor anyway, so
I'm not either.
Well,
that ain't me, but that ain't me, babe.
But I tell you what, the race for the P5 spot or the G5 spot is actually really interesting this year.
I still think it's South Florida.
You think it's South Florida? I think
they got to get past Navy, but yeah.
So South Florida's got to get past Navy, Memphis, North Texas, and Tulane.
I think North Texas is going to be that.
I think North Texas is good. I don't think Tulane hasn't shown me much watching. This is the first time I've really watched them. Not real closely.
I've seen that Memphis team look really good.
I mean,
let's not bring back painful memories.
I have a hard time thinking that a team that really should have lost to us is going to be all that good. But that's.
I mean, I already brought up Kurt. I already brought up Clint Sterner and Burlsworth.
I did mention Sterner first. I will admit that.
Yep.
But no, the other team that I think as Indiana proves what it's doing, Old Dominion is looking better and better because Old Dominion got beat 24-13 by Indiana.
By Indiana, okay.
Yeah, and played them close. I mean, they were never ahead. Indiana kind of seemed like they were never really in danger.
Mm-hmm.
But on a play-to-play basis, Old Dominion was right there with them, right? And that's saying something.
To keep it low and Indiana be the fucking scoring machine that they are, that definitely puts a star in your column as a football team.
And then they handled Virginia Tech. That may not be saying much either, but that was pretty much a beatdown.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know that they'll lose again. Now, if you have a South Florida, with the wins they have that has one loss, and you have an Old Dominion with one loss, Old Dominion doesn't have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
But, if the American kind of falls apart a little bit, then, maybe Old Dominion ends up there.
All right. I'm going to hit you with the first pick, Dargan. We got the Red River Rivalry, or what used to be known as that.
Yeah. Well, it's still known as the Red River Rivalry. It used to be called the Shootout.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
An unranked
all I got to say
Texas
about
team. They're saying Oklahoma by 1.5. What do you think about that one?
Like I said, all I have to say is that I would root for the Soviet national team against Texas, and I don't have a lot of love for the Land Thieves, but they're going to beat Texas.
Yeah, I dislike the Land Thieves as well.
Is Sarkisian in trouble? if he loses this one?
I don't know. I think the fan base turns on Arch first.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
And I've always said there's.
I think.
And I could be wrong about this.
If they lose and they don't have somebody else in there at quarterback, the dominoes might start falling in that direction.
And honestly, I could be wrong about this. I believe that Mama Manning went to UVA, and I always thought that there was a very slim chance that he might make Mama happy and go to Charlottesville. If Tony Scott keeps trending upward like he's been doing, I think that might be an interesting transfer spot for him.
But wait a minute. If Chandler Morris wins 9 games for you, you really gonna throw him under the bus and bring in Arch?
I don't know. I mean, if Arch loses 4 or 5 games, is he going to be able to put up with the bullshit and stay?
Okay,
by the way,
Arch may leave, right? Yeah. But if I'm Arch, I would have left before now, and I'd have gone home to Tulane, just been a god in New Orleans, because he doesn't need to play in a big school to get drafted, right?
Nope.
So, he may just pick somebody that surprises the hell out of all of us.
That's true. By the way, Oklahoma. The history of this game, at least recently, is if Texas wins, they win in a rout. If Oklahoma wins, it's a nail biter from beginning to end.
And Texas,
I'm looking more at the latter than the former. So I'm gonna take Oklahoma. Oklahoma and take the under.
I'm a little surprised because they're at Texas. But if you're going to say
are they at Texas or are they at the Cotton Bowl?
I think they're the Cotton Bowl. They're always in Texas.
Yeah, they're in Dallas. They're just Texas is the home team.
Yeah,
but that's just a fiction.
Yeah. Political expediency.
Yeah, they're playing in Dallas.
Yeah.
So there's not a home and away situation going on.
It's kind of like Tennessee when Tennessee used to play Alabama at Legion Field, except you don't have to worry about getting tetanus shot after.
I think Texas loses this game. I think that Oklahoma defense is going to be a little bit too much for Texas. Mm-hmm. And I'll take those points. I don't think it'll be a blowout, but touchdown wouldn't surprise me. They won by touchdown.
Yeah.
10 points somewhere in there.
Yeah.
All right, Duran, you get to talk about your favorite team.
Of course, this is another one where can both teams lose? Well, I can't say that about A&M. I don't have that kind of animosity towards A&M that I do towards Florida.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of wondering.
I kind of want Texas A&M to lose though, so we can move up.
If this game was at in the Swamp, I would be a little bit more. I would be a little bit more confident in saying that's going to happen.
Yeah,
but Marcel Reed's a better
quarterback.
Marcel Reed's a better quarterback than DJ Lagway, and I think it was boils down to Mike Elko is going to have that defense ready to go. So. Yeah, it's a 7.5 spread for the Aggies. Yeah, I'll take the Aggies in 7.5.
All right.
I'll take the Aggies as well. I actually think that if there is an SEC team that can enter the playoffs at the level of an Ohio State or a Miami, it's down to it being A&M if A&M can do that,
especially defensively. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the head and the heart say two different things. I'm gonna go with the head, and I'll take Texas A&M and that 7.5.
I would think the head and the heart would be kind of in sync on this one.
I just want Florida to maybe sneak by with a win and watch Texas A&M sink like a stone. Is that so wrong?
No, but I also don't see it. I just realistically, I don't see it happening. I mean, they've got A&M. They've got to go. Then they've got.
Well, that's the head part, Dren. The heart.
Yes, I know.
Where VOLS rule over all the land, and we want what's best for the VOLS. That's the heart.
Exactly.
So,
they've got to go, but they.
This year?
I'm sorry.
Do y'all play A&M?
No, next year I think. I'd have to look.
Yeah,
not unless we somehow make it to the title game.
Right.
But see, Florida's got A&M. If they lose, if A&M beats the dog out of them, they've got to play the Maroons next week in Gainesville, and that's not going to be a gimme. And then they got to go to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So they're liable. They're liable. That's 1, 2. They're going to Oxford 3. That's at least 3 more losses for them.
Yeah.
If you give them Kentucky, which we probably should, and then leave us as a toss-up in Gainesville.
They got to go to Doak, right?
Yep.
No.
Games in. They're playing in the Swamp this year.
They're playing in the Swamp. Okay, they should beat FSU in the Swamp.
Yeah, we'll see.
Should.
Yeah, well,
Should.
Yes.
I'll start with our the Cox going to LSU, who's still ranked number 11.
I mean,
do you think those guys are overrated?
I haven't been impressed by him. I haven't been overly impressed by him.
I haven't either.
I mean, they barely got past Florida at home. Still it's a 2-score game, but at the same time, I mean, they got the only thing that was, of course, the 5 turnovers. That's what sunk Florida, because they basically outplayed LSU just about everywhere else.
Yep.
Yeah.
LSU losing to Ole Miss definitely hurts. I just don't know that Lenoris has enough juice to go in the Baton Rouge and win. And then they've got to deal with Diego. They've got a rough stretch. I mean, South Carolina they ought to handle.
Well,
Vanderbilt in Nashville, not going to be easy.
No.
They got A&M coming. They got A&M coming to town, and then they got to go to Tuscaloosa.
Well, at any rate, so LSU is favored by 9.5 at home.
Yeah,
And I think they've got this. And one thing I'd like to ask, either y'all can answer.
Mm-hmm.
How hot are Beamer's buns right about now?
I don't think it matters, because the guy in Blacksburg. I don't think it matters, because I think the guy at Blacksburg is gone, and Shane's going to Blacksburg.
Maybe.
That's kind
Yeah.
of the way I feel.
Genevieve, stop.
Jen, who you got?
Genevieve. Genevieve,
It was he had
come here.
LSU.
All right. Well, she's never gonna show up. Sorry.
Ah, you're all right.
I will actually take. I will take South Carolina plus the 9.5. I think that game is going to be like 12-7. I think that neither of the. Well, I think LSU plays good defense and bad offense, and that's what I'm going to do.
I think Trinidad Chambliss continues to show that he's, the most up and coming quarterback in the league.
Yeah,
he's obviously been the most pleasant surprise, and I don't know the South Carolina can keep up. I get to I'm thinking this is a 10-point game.
Are you still on the thing?
Yeah. All right, guys. I need to go. I will talk to you later.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
All right, sir. Thanks for dropping by.
Are you still on the thing?
Gargan's not in trouble.
I doubt he's not.
Sounded like he might
Gargan's
be
wife.
a little bit.
Shout out to Christy, Dr. Ware. She's a sweetheart.
All right. Where are we at?
We were talking South Carolina, Ole Miss.
Yeah, I think we're done with that one.
Okay.
The Doggies and the Plainsman Tiger Wolf Fox.
Good old fashioned hate. I act like I have a lot of hatred for Georgia, and I really don't. They really should handle this game pretty easily.
Mind you, it's 3.5 in Georgia's favor.
And it's a Jordan Hare. I don't know. I don't foresee any miracles of Jordan Hare. I think, Gunner has looked rather pedestrian in every game except for ours, the one he played.
Yeah.
And Jackson Arnold hadn't exactly set the world on fire either. I think defensively, Georgia's a better team. I think it's going to be a close game. I think we're going to hear a lot of bitching and moaning from our Georgia friends up until the end.
Yeah.
But a 6-point win from Georgia is not completely out of the question here.
Yeah, here's kind of the thing. I think maybe it goes into the second half pretty close.
Oh yeah,
but I think Georgia's just going to wear them down. And I think when Texas A&M beat them, what's that been, a couple of weeks ago now?
Yeah, they stole that soul.
Yeah, I think that just took the life force out of their bodies, and that was it. Any kind of team that's any good will beat Auburn this year. I do believe.
Yeah, anybody who can control a quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah. Two more. We're almost getting out of here.
Okay.
Bama is going to Missouri. Bama to Missouri. Number 8 versus number 14. Bama favored by 3.5. I don't know. This Bama team is so Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Their quarterback is Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I don't know really what to expect. I think they can win.
Mm-hmm.
And that 3.5, it may be even closer than 3.5. They might win by a point against Missouri. So I'm going to take Missouri. I think Bama wins by maybe 1 or 2, but I'm going to take against spread Mizzou.
Yeah, ESPN's got it opened at 5.5. I mean, ESPN's got it down to 2.5 now.
2.5. Well,
I mean, Bo Prabula has played really well.
He has.
Missouri. Missouri's got a really good running back in Ahmad Hardy. Those boys are going to be fired up going, with them coming into Columbia. So I'm going to make this interesting.
Who have they played? Who has Missouri actually played that's a decent football team this year?
Other than maybe Kansas, nobody. I mean, they barely.
I think this is their first test.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
I mean, and honestly, Missouri has had the schedule from, just from the gods. Yeah. Seriously. I mean, they have had. Dude, they don't go on the road for the first time until next week. They have not had a road game yet. Yep. And so this is, I'm like, if they were going to make a run, in the conference under current circumstances, this was going to be it. And they barely beat South Carolina. But we're going to see what we see. I mean, like I said, the boys, they're going to be fired up. After that, they've got to go to Auburn, and then they've got to go to Auburn and then Nashville, and then they've got A&M. They've got A&M and the Maroons at home, and then they go to the Land Thieves, and they go play at the not a rivalry in Fayetteville. So, I mean, if they can pull this one out, it's looking really, really good. The only other guy that, they've got A&M. They've got A&M at home, but that Oklahoma game could be a problem. Yeah. A&M's coming to Columbia, so that's advantageous there. But I mean, if this has got to be it. I mean, it's like, when Georgia dominated Clemson at the beginning of the year, in 22 or 21. The question was, if Georgia wasn't going to do it, then when? I mean, it's just one of those things. Yeah. This Tulane ECU game's getting very, very interesting. They've started scoring.
So who you got in this Missouri Bama?
I'm gonna take a flyer. I'm gonna pick the Tigers to cover. I'm like you. I think it's gonna be close. I mean, Ty Simmons probably overall is going to be the best quarterback we'll see all year. I wouldn't have said that at the beginning of the year, but he's shown to be very accurate, been a good leader. He's come through in the clutch. So, we'll see what we're going to see. I have something to say about the guy we're going to see this weekend, though. But yeah, if Bama figures out a way to pull this one out, I mean, we're basically playing for playoffs next week.
Yeah,
we are. Anyway,
because they'll be, I don't know if they'll break the top 5. They might be 6 or so.
Maybe
they beat Missouri. We'll see.
Maybe.
Sometimes that AP poll really seems to favor Alabama for some reason.
No, historical thing. Coaches like coaches.
Yeah. All right. The game we've all been waiting for. UT versus the Piggies. I hate the jargon couldn't be here.
Under normal circumstances, just look not without having any recent history, this game scares me. Neyland Green is the second best quarterback that we're going to be facing this year. He is the most dangerous quarterback that we're going to be facing this year. The guy is third in the league in rushing and fourth in passing. They can score. With Petrino calling plays, they can score. They can't stop anybody. Fifth? What you holding up your hand for?
I was raising my hand.
Okay. Go ahead.
But you hit it, Nell. By the way, we're also getting back Mr. Hobbs on defense.
We are.
So we've got Moy back. We've got Hobbs back.
The only player we don't have back.
Interesting line.
The only player that we don't have back is McCoy. It's going to be interesting to see who they're going to assign to spy Neyland Green, because there's going to be somebody out there, whether it's I think it's going to be T-Lander personally, because I think Arian Carter's too valuable. Arian Carter's been too valuable to put on one guy. If we can, so they're going to run the ball. In fact, I saw an interesting comment. ADZ Sports posted an interesting comment by one of the Arkansas running backs, Mike Washington Jr. He said, it's a good defense, but they've got some holes. I said, and the first thing popped in my mind, I said, son, the only hole you're going to see is your asshole when Jonathan Joseph takes your head and sticks it and shoves it up it. He's gonna bend you in half and just seriously. Or the only one's going to be is the center that gets, or the guard that gets run over trying to block for you. It's just so. I'm taking the over in this game. I have no doubt about that. Arkansas is going to score points. I mean, our defense has underperformed this year simply because of the fact that we have given up a lot of points, and we have.
Yeah.
So, and these guys are embarrassed by last week. I mean, Notre Dame went into Fayetteville and embarrassed. They're coming in pissed off. We are an 11.5 point favorite. The over is 69 is 67.5. I would definitely take that. The question is going to be, are they going to be able to keep up? And I don't think they will. I mean, they're going to score. I have absolutely no illusions about that. But I think we win this game by 2 or 3 touchdowns. Now, I thought the same thing about Mississippi State, and look what happened there. But at the same time, this home game. This is a home game. This is a revenge game. They're pissed. We're really pissed because we don't have a scared quarterback running out of bounds with 4 seconds left on the clock. At least Joey would at least taking a shot in the end zone.
He's going to take you head on.
Exactly.
He ain't run out of bounds afraid of shit. He's gonna come right at you.
I mean, he ain't Joe Milton running out of bounds because Joe, God love him, ain't all there. And two, he ain't Nico. He's not Nico because Nico's scared.
Yeah, Nico's built like a toothpick.
Exactly, he's gonna get snapped like one too. I mean,
yeah.
Excuse me.
I'm gonna take the Vols. I think, yeah, they're gonna score, but I think they're going to be a little more one-dimensional than we are giving them credit for.
Yep.
And that's a problem. Our defense is healthier, coming off a bye week.
Yep.
I think we're going to be ready. I'm going to say the Vols by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. I would say 14-21. Yeah. I could see this being like I could see this being like a 49-28 game.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep.
And as far as them being pissed about getting embarrassed, yeah, that'll last you a little while, but
that kind of anger is only going to motivate you so far.
Yeah,
it's only going to give you that. It's that fuel is going to burn out. That's the kind of fuel that burns off very, very quickly.
And of course, we took the Vols. What do you think? We're going to pick Arkansas. All right. Let's drive this thing home, shall we? I got a few questions for you.
Brandon, go ahead and unload.
Maybe this one you've never heard. Dren, how do you spell mayonnaise?
Well, I know there's conventional wisdom on how things like that are spelled, but in the South, we only spell mayonnaise one way. D-U-K-E-S. Dukes.
Always. Dren, Wiley.
Sir?
Let's say you wanted to take a golf ball to a football game and chuck it from section Z. What kind of golf ball would you take?
Well, there is only one golf ball that's worthy of throwing at Lane Kiffin's head, and that is, fans. If you're gonna do that, use the best number one ball in golf. That is Titleist.
Dren, Wiley.
Sir.
At the same time, if you were chucking a golf ball and you also wanted to, I don't know, pour Jack Daniels into a mustard bottle and drink that, and then throw said, what kind of mustard would you use?
Oh, there's only one kind of mustard that you would pour Jack into to be able to throw it an opposing coach, and that would be French's yellow mustard.
My boy. You ever heard of something called manna?
Yeah, it's one of the things that I believe it was the beverage of the gods.
Ambrosia type of drink,
and that was their food.
A little ambrosia, a little manna. What would be manna of the South, if you had to guess.
That would be Milo's iced tea.
Ah. It's all making sense to me now.
It is.
And finally, if you're in the Knoxville area and you need a haircut, there's a little crawl going across the screen right now. Not that the two are related. Where would you go to get your haircut?
I would check out our friends at the Pike Barbershop, Max Ramos, and then his colleagues, Miles, Elliot, and Roberto. Shout out to Roberto's mom.
Roberto!
But he's got two loves, Big City Living, and a voodoo woman named Phyllis. But yeah, Pike Barbershop, check him out on the Booksy app. And they tell them we sent you. They will make you look pretty, do you right. Worth every penny.
All right. My shout out goes to our friend that was on here who didn't make it to the end of the show. If you're of the mind to watch Jeopardy on October 17th, you will see the same gentleman that was on here on there. Tune in, cheer him on.
Also check out his books on Amazon, The Legend of Colgan Toomey and Old Soldiers Never Die. Dargan is also interestingly enough the poet laureate of Alabama. So he is most definitely a fascinating dude. Check him out. You will not be disappointed. Other than that, Brandon, I'm pretty much done for the evening, unless you have anything else you want to share.
Oh yeah. If you'd like to support us in our ventures and our shenaniganery, it's a word. Go to Venmo at Young Brandon, at Drin Rollins. He's Wiley on here, but we are men of many names.
Yes.
Check it out. Send us a buck or two. Support our cause. And go VOLS. Drin, you got anybody to shout out or do anything like that?
No, not particularly. Not this week. Like I said, well, I always want to shout out to the folks that we tailgate with down, Mark and the crew down on campus. Hopefully, we'll be seeing them this weekend. Other than that, everybody have a lovely rest of your week. Enjoy your 50 was it? How many days of football again?
49.
Your 49 days of 49 nights of football. And last but not least, go Vols.
Go Vols. We'll see y'all next week. Bye.